I'm Adrienne Bankert. Welcome to One Nation Under God. We are celebrating the return of The Chosen on the CW. Nexstar happens to be the parent company of both the CW and NewsNation. And because of the heavy content, Jesus, his disciples, the New Testament, we thought it might be a little fun, again in celebration of The Chosen's return to the CW, to have a little bit more fun this time around. I was able to interview the cast, and I've had a great time getting to know each and every one of them. Here's a little bit of a lighter side and a peek behind the scenes. Every time I come here, it's like, I'm like, what am I gonna wear? And I think I need to dress the part.
We actually would have been matching if yesterday.
You guys get to wear some really amazing costumes.
That's just true. We've had an upgrade this season.
That's true.
Too.
An upgrade?
Layers.
Yeah. Oh, layers?
Yeah. We get new cloaks this season.
You get to be sweatier than ever.
Oh, yes.
Stylish.
That is
It's a shame
true.
for us, but
I would have said Shahar.
Shahar is great. I'll play with Shahar.
But it is Shaha.
Shahar.
Shaha.
Yeah, it's Shahar.
I said it better off camera.
It's supposed to be a joke. I'm like showing how difficult it actually is.
But
it is difficult.
But I think
It is
people do
difficult.
wonder, how does she keep that veil on her head?
That's how.
Can I just state the obvious? You have the most beautiful eyes.
Please.
Oh.
I'm shocked that isn't how everything has began.
I
today.
mean,
With speaking about Luke's eyes.
my sister has a deal she's made with me. But this was even before I got on the show. She looked at me and she was like, look, you have to get famous. You have to get famous for no other reason except that when you do, you take me on a Food Network show and we just eat a bunch of good food. We go to Italy, we try some pasta.
With Stanley Tucci.
That's with Stanley Tucci!
oh, well, you gotta
Home
go to
Giamatti.
Stanley. Yes.
So now I owe her, so
Well,
I've
you're
gotta say.
famous. You're famous for being Jewish. I would
Food
wonder,
Network.
Food Network, I hope you're listening. How is, I mean, this is obviously
30 pieces of silver plate?
Don't trust him, though. What's your celebratory meal?
Oh, probably a surf and turf, steak and lobster kind of thing.
Yum. Okay. What's your favorite thing to do in terms of celebration?
I think just being with family and close friends.
I thought you were going to say karaoke.
No,
Okay.
not karaoke.
You know you're a really
It was a good
funny
birthday.
guy. I mean, I saw you at the Kalo Fan Award.
Yeah, I feel like I did more comedy before The Chosen than I did drama. I love comedy. Dallas is all about writing moments, and I'm always trying to find ways where we can, you know, if it's appropriate to kind of be like, what if we just kind of said this instead? And like, how about if we try this? And inevitably we'll just add humor where we can, because especially with season 5, it's more intense than season 4, that people can actually realize that if that's possible. Is The Fly?
Yeah.
It's just one guy. It's
I'm
just
like-
one guy.
I'm trying not to do anything, but
You're
he's
doing
literally
great.
landing on my face.
No, he's been around. I rebuke that fly in Jesus' name. Be gone. Go to the foot of the cross.
Your
Yes.
moments where you were funny in season 4 were honestly some of my favorites. I was laughing out loud.
But he was human, fully God, fully human. If he was dealing with those guys for 3 years, he had to have a sense of humor. You know, how do you not? With what's to come? I mean, plus he was Jewish. I mean, they notoriously brilliant senses of humor, just as a culture. Great sense, great comedians, great writers. So funny. And so I think it just makes sense.
How do you find confidence?
Oh, well, that's it for me.
Late night chats
Is that like
with Luke.
is
That's
that
how
a
we
French
do it.
word? I don't even recognize it.
No,
Confidence?
We'll get you there, my friend. We'll get you there, boy. One day. No, I think confidence is, I mean, honestly, it comes from years of just trying to live again truthfully. And I think the world sort of responds to you in kind. So if you lead by example, if you try to live your life honestly, I think the world responds to that.
Trust the work you've put into yourself.
Knowing that to be human is to be flawed, and that we're never going to be perfect. We don't have to be. We can start with our hearts, and a faith in God, that there is something that knows me better than I know myself. There's a force that that is smarter than us, that has better plans than we can plan, that takes care of us and loves us more than we can imagine, and for all of our attempts at trying to control our lives or try to portray ourselves a certain way as confident, real confidence, I think, comes from surrender and letting go of I think, control.
I think confidence, if you ask me, which is a great question, and I'm genuinely thinking about this for the first time as you are asking me, I think it's the ability to put others ahead of you. And I think that's where the confidence is coming from in this situation. Because when you are constantly focusing on yourself and your issues, if you are constantly looking at, am I doing you know, doing things right? Am I okay in every situation, social situations, in every situations? But if you put everything outside and you open your eyes and you look at the world and you look at other people and you think, instead of thinking about myself, how can I actually help the others? I think that's where the confidence is coming from. And so I think in general, this is something that I would like to believe it's how I aim for, I strive for this. And that's what the character is, like that kind of stuff.
How do you tune out any noise or negativity as a result of portraying this character with this particular series?
That is part of my surrender. Yeah. I don't want to whine and say, it's hard, because, but I mean, on some level, it just, some days it doesn't feel achievable, but you just keep going, because you know it's what you're here to do and what I'm being asked to do.
It's a struggle sometimes. I still have anxiety. And so I catch myself sometimes ruminating over, did I do that right? Do I look stupid? Did I do any little micro thing wrong? And it's a sort of internal criticism that I project onto the the outside world. I think people might be judging me or disappointed that I'm not doing good enough, or that's anxiety. And I think the biggest challenge is quieting that voice inside more than what's outside. I think there's so much noise in the world. You have to find that still quiet place with God and trust that whatever He wants, whatever the performance is, whenever we do a scene, is meant to be. It's the way it's supposed to be, and to really let go of control. And you can't control what people think of you. You can just try to stay present.
One of the biggest things with doing the show, I think, is maintaining the ability to be grounded and to not let the sort of outside, which is mostly all positive, but you kind of have to forget about it when you're filming this. I don't even honestly like looking at the monitor anymore because it reminds me that it is a show and we watch the show and we're aware that it's growing in popularity, but I always just try to be like, we are living this moment today for the only time, and it will live on after that, but for today, my only job is to be present and to make sure that we're telling the story the best way we can.
Luke, I mean, I'm thinking, especially for your character, there's a lot of haters, and there's a lot of people who probably say things. I mean, the story of Jesus and his disciples is controversial enough, but then to have a real-life Judas, how do you keep from people's comments getting to you?
There are a few, but honestly, I just look to my left and I see the support of my friends and my fellow castmates who are always there for me. And appreciation from the fans are always nice. Yeah. But the appreciation from my peers and the respect that I get from my friends and the people that I care about, that's what really matters to me.
You know, the cool thing about walking on this set, as I'm sure you're seeing now, is that the second I come here, I can't help but be taken away by everything that's forcing me to be present. We come in this first century world and then you go to the airport and it's like, well, what about? And that is always like a big, like, oh, I was just playing in that world and now I'm in this sort of world where everybody knows the place that I play in. So I kind of take it all in and believe that it's all part of one thing, because if I try to play that game, like the camera's not there, the camera's not there, nobody in their life is actually thinking that.
You see in season 5, we'll see them scatter. We'll see the disciples scatter and lose heart. What does courage look like to you?
Courage looks like, the word that just popped in my head was trust. I don't know why that came up, but courage. You know, I think of Matthew as a lion, cute on the outside and very strong on the inside. So I think he, at the end of the day, he's got eyes on Jesus, and that's what courage looks like, is to just go through the ups and downs. You might not know what's going on. You might not understand the big behavior happening in season 5, but you have to have the courage to keep going and move forward with it.
So we're here in Texas, and sometimes there's a lot of bugs.
You see, yeah, I do have bad reactions to bug bites. No, bravery to me, wow. Honestly, I think sometimes it's living by your moral code and not taking in what maybe outside forces would tell you should do. Living by your heart and what you know to be true. I think that's one of the most important things in this world. And when you think about the people throughout history who have done that, a lot of the times their journey has not been easy. It's mostly a challenging journey when you live like that, and I think it does take real bravery to live, honestly.
Do you want to add anything besides the gigantic bugs?
Oh yeah, no, those are terrifying. Honestly, if I can add something, I struggle a lot with trying to find bravery in my own life sometimes, and I've found, even though I can be very outgoing and I like to face things head first, that my personal bravery that I appreciate a lot more is in listening, in patience, and taking that courage to not have to be right.
All these doors, are you celebrating at any point?
I'm taking the time to like recognize like that there have been times where I couldn't make rent in the past, and so it does get busy, and I am constantly reminding myself like this is what you've been praying for your whole life. And so I think sometimes doing the work is the celebration. Getting to do work that you love and that is meaningful to you is the thing to celebrate. So yeah, I'm constantly pinching myself.
And you're an advocate now. I mean, you're an advocate for the autistic community. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I think I just, in portraying Matthew, it was very important for me to not take up anyone's space that's not my background or upbringing. So it was really important for me to be an ambassador for the neurodivergent community. And it was something I always wanted to do. And so to have initiatives wanting to be involved and collaborate with The Chosen and kind of take that step forward has really actually been so impactful for me that I'm so happy. And I've got things coming up with more involvement, and I can't wait for you all to see that, because that's what it is. It's continuing to show people that they have a space here and they belong, just like Matthew found his space.
When do you have free time to do a photo book?
I think it's really fun for artists to practice different kinds of art, because it reminds you, the acting is kind of the thing you do. It's your job and it's the thing you do, and you take it, it's so important, and you really you put just everything into it, and the stakes can be so high, and I think doing another art where you can just say, I'm just gonna just enjoy and just have fun. Yeah. And then you see that sometimes this fun is actually what's causing you to be a better artist, and then you try to bring that fun to the same art that is your job, So I think that's a really nice thing. It really feeds each other. So it's inherent to practice a few kinds of art to make sure that you are reminding yourself the actual pure joy and why you chose this and how beautiful and fun this can be and free,
Finding inspiration in other arts aside from the one that you practice, I think is like super important, because we can get a little bit too confident with our, I got this. Well,
really?
Pick up a camera and see how much you got,
or the opposite, or think stress like too much about things. Like it's really, relaxation is such a huge part of this job, that if you register it in another medium, you can bring it into your medium, which is kind of all you need. Even if you're playing something very stressed, it's very important to be very relaxed doing it,
Yeah. Are you looking forward in these scenes, like so many of the fans are, to the Last Supper?
We're approaching maybe the last few runs of this ride, which has kind of been with me this whole time, like 2 years, huh? That's it. That's wow. Okay. And I'm feeling a bit of nostalgia, but I'm trying to just be honest with it. because it's gone by way too fast. And so when you read the scene, it's like Last Supper. You're like, no, we're there. Man, what a ride.
Well, he's the only hero that comes back.
Maybe we'll change the ending. Who knows?
Then you'll really get some interesting emails.
Tune in. Let's see what happens.
What would you each tell your younger selves based on what you've done here with The Chosen?
Our actual younger selves?
Your actual younger selves.
Believe, have faith.
Yeah. Be patient.
Be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you won't get some of the best knowledge you can get from life won't have immediate answers. So you have to just trust in the process. Trust the process. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Man, my younger self really went through a lot. So, and you see me pouring that into my character. So, yeah, I would tell myself to trust.
I think for me, I don't think I would have been able to connect to Mary and her pain had I not also gone through some pain. And so I would say to myself like that, this is maybe necessary. This is part of life. And it's funny because it's literally what Mary is writing about in season 4 of like, life is bitter and sweet and they're both mingled together. You can't extract the bitter and just have the sweet. Like that is what life is. And to you know, find some patience and some really patience with yourself, and that growth takes a lot of time. And the things you go through, you can let it destroy you, or you can let it help you grow and be able to recognize that in others and to reach out and I love Mary's growth because she stops focusing on herself and her past and starts focusing on the present and the people around her and on Jesus. And I just love that shift of focus so much, and I would recommend doing that.
I think about you and I think about Dallas, and the word surrender comes up because both of you have these wonderful testimonies.
Within 6 months of each other.
Have you surrendered again since then?
Every day in my life, Adrienne, I'm surrendering every day in my life. And this season especially, like, I've had to just let go of so much, and it's still a struggle.
What's the tough part?
I think all of it, just trying to make sense of all of it and balance all of it, balance this, the responsibilities of the show with the rest of my life, with you know, the asks and the requests and the other projects that I do. And I'm so grateful for all of it, so I want to do everything, but I know that I can't. And so, and sometimes I feel like he's given me more stuff that I'm like, I have to do that. And I'm like, what are you doing to me here, man? I'm like, I can't handle it. He's like, that's what you think. That's what
He
you
probably says with me, all things are possible.
Yeah, he probably does. I think he uses shorthand for me. I think he's just like, just do it. I'm like, okay, fine. Gosh.
You guys have a great relationship.
We do.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
The most fun thing that I do. Well, I don't have any of my musical instruments with me because I'm a drummer and a percussionist, so I haven't gotten to play music in a while. Last time I played music was last summer with Matt Maher in Lisbon.
Well, my prayer for you is that you have more fun.
Thank you. I'll take it. I receive it.
Watch The Chosen every Sunday, 8, 7 Central, but check your local listings just to be sure. And remember, you watch that on the CW. See you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.